Good evening, everyone. I'm Jerry Kozine. I am the proud principal of Great Neck North Middle School. Hopefully you and I had a chance to meet back in the spring as you came to some of our orientation activities. But tonight, what we're going to do is have a conversation. We would usually be doing this in our auditorium as your children ran about the building during the orientation process. And again, tomorrow they are welcome to come to North Middle School at 11:30. We have an activity planned for them for about 45 minutes. We'll talk more about that later in tonight's presentation. But we thought it's just a great chance to have a quick conversation this evening, probably no more than 30, 40 minutes, maybe answer some of the questions you might have, but just to get you ready to hand over your elementary school students as they enter the exciting world of middle school. So I'm going to introduce the people, allow the people around there, the Brady Bunch quad here to say hello. So I'll start with Miss Gunning.
Hi everyone, I'm Nancy Gunning. I'm one of the North Middle School's 2 assistant principals. Welcome to tonight's webinar. We're very happy to have you here, excited to meet your kids, and just trust us, it's going to be an amazing year. Thank you. And Miss Anderson?
Hi, I'm Jennifer Anderson. I'm the other assistant principal at North Middle School. We are thrilled that we're going to be starting with all of our 6th graders in the building this year, as opposed to the way we started last year. We know it's going to be an amazing year, and we're looking forward to getting to know each and every one of them, as well as the families who we're meeting tonight. And next we have Miss Rice.
Hi, I'm Trina Rice. I am the team leader for Discovery, and I'm also one of the English teachers on the team. We are so thrilled to meet your students and get them started, and we'll tell you more in a little bit.
Hi everyone, I'm Christine Sposito. I'm the team leader of Team Adventure. I'm also the math teacher of Team Adventure. We are so excited for their arrival this week, and we can't wait to meet most of them tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Carrie Ye. I'm co-president with my partner, Margaret Adams, 2nd year for the PTA president. We are here with you, we're here for you, and look forward to a wonderful journey with you together in North Middle School. Margaret?
Hi, I'm Margaret Adams. Like Carrie said, this is our 2nd year here as co-presidents at North Middle. We are super excited to be working with a great administration to welcome you to a really great school. I have a 7th grader who loves it here, and your kids will too. Dr. Kozine?
Thank you, everyone. So what I'm going to do is share a presentation with you this evening. We'll talk about that presentation, and hopefully at the time we'll have the Q&A to answer some of your questions. We may not get to every question tonight, and some of those questions may be too specific to answer in a general forum. I would encourage you to reach out to the teachers, to reach out to the counselor, Dr. Siegel, to reach out to one of us via email, and we will do our best to get back to you. So at this point, I'm going to share my screen so that you can enjoy the presentation. So again, this evening we're going to have a conversation. Ms. Anderson and Ms. Gunning and I wanted to welcome you, along with, of course, our PTO. And Dr. Lando may be swinging by, but only as a guest. I know that he wanted to possibly be here. If he pokes his head in, I will make note of him at that time. This is going to be your children's home away from home for the next 3 years. Ms. Gunning, Ms. Anderson, Ms. Sposito, Ms. Rice, and I spend a lot of time here, but we love it because it is a home. I've always taken great pride in the fact that any school I've been involved with, I want to feel like a home. For the students that are there, for the staff that's there, it is a labor of love what we do. Teaching is a hard thing to do, but the rewards are so incredible. And being a parent is extremely hard, especially during this time that we have right now, as we've gone through the last 17 or 18 months during COVID. You know, Miss Gunning, Miss Anderson, and I, between the 3 of us, have 10 children between the ages of 10 and 20. So we've been there. We're living it right now as we speak, and we know it's not easy, but please know that we try every day to make sure that your children for the next 3 years have a home when they come here every day. And then they will go home to you, and sometimes you'll call us and we can commiserate together about them, but I promise you they're in very good hands. So I thought it important before we turn it over to have a discussion with our PTO, just to let you know about some of the safety precautions at North Middle School. Our school, and for the 6th grade parents who may have attended today's webinar, this will be repetitive and I apologize, but You also weren't here last year, and North Middle School, probably of all the schools in the district, had the highest percentage of students that were coming to school. And at the end of the year, when we really allowed everyone to come back, we had close to 90% of our kids in school. So we know that we can do this. We know that we can be safe. I'm confident that we didn't have any in-school spread last year, but we're going to make sure that, again, we are following all precautions, because the last thing we want to is to take a step backwards. No one wants to go back to remote instruction. No one wants to go back to a time where kids aren't coming to school every day. So we're going to wear masks at all times. We're going to have spots in the hallways where students can stand as they're waiting for class. I know it's been a big concern with our sixth grade parents and a lot of our parents about lockers. And I get it. It's a quintessential middle school experience to have that locker. And we want lockers back in school. But I can promise you from my 30+ years of experience in middle school, kids congregate at lockers. Kids get to a locker, and for one locker, you might have 14 kids around that locker. That's really challenging for us if we ever do have a positive case and have to get involved in contact tracing. That's a close proximity. I'm hoping as we hear more about the Delta variant burning out, hopefully, and we get to a point where we can loosen the restrictions a little bit more, we can bring back lockers, especially as we approach the months where it gets a little colder and kids will be bringing jackets to school. We will stagger the schedules, and Ms. Rice and Ms. Posito will speak more about that in a little bit. So your students aren't in the hallway all at the same time. We have hand sanitizers throughout the building. Our classrooms will be 3 feet apart. Our 6 feet apart will be in your course classes, your band room, and during lunch. Lunch is going to be unique this year, as it was last year. It's going to be desks. I wish we could go back to our round tables, but at this point we can't, because when students have their masks off, we need to abide by the 6-foot rule. So they'll be seated at desks, but we will try and get them outside as quickly as possible. We have an amazing recess area here. And unless it's really raining outside or it's about 21 degrees, we're trying to get our students outside and they can even eat outside. We'll have mask breaks for our students. The teachers will try. And we have bleachers around the building as well, where teachers can take classes out. And we have 4 access points for Wi-Fi. So even if the teachers go outside with the iPads, kids will still be able to be connected. And if they have documents in their Google Drive or Nearpod, they'll be able to still access those. And I promise you that the district and the building are committed to continually disinfecting. It's amazing to watch. Our teachers always get so excited. Our custodians are walking the hallway with spray bottles throughout the day, hitting certain door handles, the bathrooms, doing what they can do. And at night, we're doing that again. And then we're using a special disinfectant sanitizer every 60 days that really gives a deep cleaning to our building so that we can make sure that everyone's safe. I just thought it was important for you to understand. I know some of you are coming from the not even being in the elementary schools last year, and elementary school is definitely a more secure setting per se, because the kids aren't moving around. But I promise you, last year, North Middle School rose to the occasion. The students were incredible. The parents were so extremely supportive, and our staff was brilliant in making sure that everyone adhered to the rules that were expected of them. And now, without further ado, we are so fortunate to share such a positive collaborative relationship with our PTO. And it's not just Carrie and Margaret, it's the executive board, it's all of our parents recognizing that we are partners in learning. We have to make sure that we're working together. Our kids are watching that and they see that you're involved with school. They may push you away in middle school. I promise you. They're, oh, no, mom, you don't have to come up anymore. But they still want you to know what's going on. So the PTO allows you a great opportunity to get involved in the aspects of our school that can really make a difference for your child's classes, for the teachers, and for our overall community. So at this point, I'll turn it over to Carrie or Margaret. I don't know who would like to speak first.
Sorry about that. Good evening. I'm Margaret Adams, and this is Carrie. And we are this year's co-presidents for the second year. And like Dr. Cosine said, we have an amazing executive board, and we would like to formally welcome you to the North Middle School family. As parents and PTA presidents, we want you to know how lucky you are to have we are to have the unwavering support of Dr. Cosine, Ms. Gunning, and Ms. Anderson, as well as all the teachers, office staff, and custodians, and all of the amazing individuals who are the glue that keep this school together. You not only won the lottery with our faculty and staff, but our amazing principal, Dr. Cosine. He's an amazing person who genuinely cares for your children. You will see it, and your children will see it every single day. They will learn to love and embrace him as well as the rest of the administration. And no matter whether it's rain or shine, if you're a parent who picks up, you will see the administration on Polo Road or on the bus platform at dismissal time. And that is the honest truth because I've seen it myself. North Middle School has an amazing reputation, one that is very proud of its no place for hate designation. But in order to maintain this reputation and culture, we depend on active parents who love to participate and volunteer their time to our school. We are very lucky to work with a school who includes and embraces parent participation. We sincerely hope that you will all take some time this year to get involved in one way or another. This past year has been a year unlike any other. And while we had hoped that 2021-22 would be back to normal, we're not quite there yet, but we hope that at some point this year, we will. But in the meantime, we are hoping that we can still get you involved in some way. We are very lucky that the administration has been very hard at work to make this year as safe as possible for our kids so that they can be back to school.
Yes.
Karen?
Yeah, we need you. Thank you, Margaret. We have many opportunities available for all parents to volunteer, to be part of North Middle School PTO, to be part of our amazing school, including working parents. There are a lot of opportunities. Just as we depend on parent participation, we also strongly depend on the PTO dues to help fund many programs and events for our children. For example, last year, we were able to pay for back to school masks and sanitizers for all students. We were also able to purchase the book, Other Words for Home, so that all kids in school and parents who are interested would be able to read it before we hosted the book. The author, Miss Jasmine Warga, as part of the Author in Residence program. Kids and parents all loved it. It was a great experience for them. So now, to make things easier, you can pay your PTO dues and fill in the PTO volunteer forms directly from our new and user-friendly PTO webpage. Thanks to our volunteer parents, and especially thanks to Ms. Larson for designing and building the new webpage. So come to visit us. Also come to like us in the Facebook, North Middle School, Great Neck North Middle School PTO. We are a paperless school, so any reminders of events, of opportunities, of picture day, book fair, meetings will be shared by the email sent to parents. So please read them and give us feedback. We want you to be part of us, and we look forward to the wonderful journey together with you and your children in North Middle School.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Margaret. We're charged here at the middle school, as students move from elementary to the secondary level, to have students think more critically. Again, we understand that they are still developing, and sometimes that frontal lobe isn't fully developed, as I can share some stories about my son during middle school. But the fact is, our goal is to have our students think critically about the world in which they live. And we're doing that in all of our classes. It's not just happening in our social studies class or English class, it's happening across the board, so that our teachers are really forcing our students to think more deeply about the world in which they live, how to solve problems, how to be creative problem solvers. It's going to be a lot for them, but we're here to support them. And part of the way that we support that is by having what's known as the Swiss program, which is a small school within a school. We're taking elementary students from 3 different schools and bringing them to one building. And so they're going to know a lot of friends, and they're not going to know other students. We have 2 teams in 6th grade. Our teams are Team Adventure and Team Discovery. And I know some parents are nervous or curious as to what team their child is on. They'll know, they might discover that tomorrow by just speaking with some of the teachers, but by Wednesday, when they get the schedules, they'll get their schedules in homeroom on Wednesday morning, but they will be here tomorrow for the orientation. So at this point, I thought I would turn it over to Ms. Sposito and Ms. Rice, tell you about some of the things that are done on the team, but also to speak about some of the transition activities they have planned for your children.
Good evening, everyone. We know there are a lot of emotions the first few days of middle school, whether it's nerves or excitement. You know, we hope it's mostly excitement, and it could be between parents or the students. So we want to reassure you that on our teams, we really are like a family. We treat each other like a family, we respect each other like a family, and we really spend time getting to know our students on our team through a ton of different activities that we have planned for them. I know one of the big questions before the first day of school are, what should they bring on the first day? That's a big nervous question the night before. A folder and a pen or a pencil. No other supplies are necessary right now. And if they forget anything, we've got them covered. You know, it's an exciting first few days of school. It's exciting for us. You know, we get to see fresh new faces every year for the first time. So it's really like the first day of school for us all over again every year as well. Ms. Rice is going to tell you about some of the exciting transition activities that we do have planned for them the first few days, but we've got them, they've got this, and we're going to have a great year.
Thanks, Christine. So I really think between Christine and I think these first couple of days, these transition days are my favorite days, just because they come in so excited, so adorable, just so ready to do middle school. And so what we try and do for them to make them feel comfortable is we transition them in. We do not want to overwhelm them. So on Wednesday and Thursday, especially Wednesday, they're going to be in their homerooms for their core classes. So that means for periods 1, 2, 5, 6, and 9, they'll be staying with their homeroom and participating in different activities, such as getting their schedule. What does their schedule look like? How do they read or understand their schedule? We will take a tour of the school. They'll take their schedule with them. We will walk around the building and they'll find their classes. Just to get them comfortable, and because that's one of the most exciting parts of middle school is that you get to walk around and find your classes. We'll do what we call social circle, which is a social emotional curriculum that we've incorporated into the 6th grade. So we'll introduce that to them as well the first couple of days. We will also have an activity such as writing a letter to themselves on their emotions and how they're feeling. And as a fun surprise, seal that letter and give it back to them on the last day of school to really see how much they've grown. We'll also, do some more team building, creating a team logo for their team, talking to them about the importance of study skills and what that means and just how to be a good middle school student. So a lot of those things we'll be talking to them about Wednesday and Thursday. They will move to their other classes, such as they'll move to lunch. They will get a chance to, see if they have, go to their language class or their music class or their phys ed class. So they will be moving around, except for their main classes for homeroom. They'll be staying with their homeroom just so they can really get acclimated to the school. So we are so excited. Always feel free to reach out to Christine or I if you have any questions about anything going on with the teams.
Thank you, Ms. Rice. Thank you, Ms. Esposito. As you can see, folks, your children are in capable hands. They're great team leaders, and they are advocates for your children. Anywhere you look in the building, you're going to find people that are here advocating for your children's success. And success takes many different looks in middle school. It's not always going to be just that academic success. Now more than ever, we need to make sure as we reconnect our students to school after the last 17, 18 months, is that social emotional piece. So the advocates are not going to just be the teachers academically, it's going to be our PPS staff, which is our pupil personnel, that's our social workers, our school psychologists, our counselors, it's all of our support staff, our paraprofessionals, our people who work in the cafeteria, our bus drivers. It's our whole North Middle School family. And I really use that word, and I hope that you will come to feel that way about our family here at North Middle School, that we're all in this together, that we're going to help each other as we make sure that our children are experiencing success. One of the most important things we can talk about with advocacy is that turning the reins over to your children, allowing them to be self-advocates, to empower them to have their own voice as they grow older. So where maybe they get a grade that they're not happy with, maybe stopping for a second and saying, oh, I really want to call the teacher, I want to email the teacher. Maybe saying to your child, hey, why don't you stop by tomorrow and see Miss Rice and have a conversation about this grade? Those kind of conversations not only give them the confidence to approach adults, but also lets them make those decisions, have those conversations that are only going to help them as they grow from 6th graders to 8th graders to high school students. And before we began tonight's conversation, Ms. Rice was talking about her Her own children are going to 8th grade now, so she has seen that amazing difference as kids go from 6th to 8th grade. But please, we're going to advocate for your children, but we're going to also try and encourage them to be self-advocates so they have the power. Your children have an amazing school counselor this year, Dr. Tracy Siegel. She is also the chairperson of our counseling department. Dr. Siegel could not be here tonight in an exciting manner. She is dropping off her own son at college today and tonight, so she will not be able to join us, but she's in school tomorrow. If you have any questions or concerns, you can reach out to her. But really, your school counselor, it's different than anything you had at the elementary school level. It's an opportunity for you to reach out and connect with the school if you're just not sure what's going on. It might just be that your child is different than he or she has ever been, and you want to just talk to someone about that. Middle school children are unique animals, I promise you. And so having someone who's able to kind of translate that for you, being a teacher or being a counselor, does make a difference, because sometimes you're going to say, I can't believe this is happening. But then you'll have a conversation with Dr. Siegel, and she'll explain that everything that's going on is absolutely age appropriate. And as I said today during the conversation, also with the school counselor and the team teachers, if something happens over the weekend or happens at home, and you think, you know what, maybe I should tell someone about this because he or she's going to school not in a good place, definitely do that. You know, everything that we do, we may not know that something happened in your family. There was some kind of incident that your child is going to be very upset. Let us help you. Reach out to us so that we can help you, because it really does make a difference. And once again, the children are seeing that we are on the same page, which makes such a difference. And then the exciting parts of middle school, clubs and activities. And I want to just explain to parents, and I did this at the spring event as well. Sports, students can't play sports in 6th grade, scholastic sports. They can start playing sports in 7th and 8th grade. But we do have clubs and organizations. And I did give out last year a list of all those activities, but you can also find those on our website. And we're hoping, right now our plan is to have after school activities. So kids will be staying after school. We're going to be having extra help after school. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Anderson to talk a little bit about how your children get involved in North Middle School.
Thank you, Dr. Kozine. Yes, this is a wonderful way for 6th graders to get involved into the school community. There's no better feeling that they have when they feel connected to a place and they want to go to a place because they're doing something that they love. And yes, middle school is exciting for so many reasons. You know, the elementary school is coming together, being able to move from class to class, having those freedoms. And then finally having the opportunity to do something outside of the school day that really might pique their interest. So it could be something like the debate club or the gardening club or the chess club. We have the drama club. So there's so many opportunities for students. There's the school newspaper. And, you know, we have 6th graders who might go to 5 different clubs, you know, to start, and then they start to whittle it down because they find things that they really like. I used to be, when I was an English teacher, I used to run the school newspaper. Now Ms. Rice runs the school newspaper. But I can remember receiving notes from students in college saying that they're working for their college newspaper. And it all began in middle school when they began and joined the Northern Lights staff. Or we have students who perform, you know, Fiddler on the Roof at North Middle School. And the next thing you know, they're performing on Broadway, you know, 10, 15 years later. So it's here at the middle school where they find their niche, where they find what it is that they truly love, and they find a home outside of the school day and enjoy different activities. So there'll be more information forthcoming about the different clubs they meet after school. There'll be a schedule, and there'll be lots of opportunities for students to join and get involved in something that they will love.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson. And please, folks, let them try a lot of it. We had a question about the buses after school. Students, traditionally, most of our 6th grade students are at the latest done by 3:45. We have a 3:45 bus. Extra help goes to about 3:20, 3:30. They'll get on the 3:45 bus. And we'll explain that during the team days about how after school afternoon buses that happen after the 3 o'clock dismissal are different than the 3 o'clock bus, because instead of making 20 stops, the bus may only make 10 stops, and the stops are spread out. But Ms. Pizzito and Ms. Rice will end up explaining that to the students, and we'll take them down to the bus platform so they can understand how to take late buses. And I just added these kind of cute things because if you're like me at home, you're struggling about your students and being connected to everything. If I have to walk in on my daughter's making another TikTok video with some kind of dance moves, I don't know what I'll do, but it's always enjoyable. So here, you know, kids are going to be able to ask their parents what's going on and how they can change things along the way to make it more relevant to what they're doing. And education has absolutely changed with technology. I can promise you that we are still working on the essential elements of learning and critical thinking skills and writing and reading and math, but it has taken on a new look. The one-to-one iPad initiative with Google Classroom, Google Drive, Notability, Nearpod, all the apps that we use along the way are going to make your children better communicators as they get to the high school level. Right now, I just dropped off my two children at college last week, and both of them have spoken to me already about how they are basically most of their stuff that they're doing is all digital. So they were ready for that because their school also had a one-to-one program. But they're going to be also involved in just good old-fashioned learning activities, I promise you. And the best thing that you can do is you can ask your child for his or her Google Classroom code. You can ask them so you can look at what's going on in the classes. And the team teachers will be talking to your children and you about more of that as well. And back to school night, which is later in September, I'm sure the teachers will mention that as well. This slide I always thought was great. It talks about the ideal student. And I really wish I could take this out and put this on my kids' room and say, okay, guys, focus on this. But this is ideal. And none of our children are ideal. They're all amazing in their own way. I know, Ms. Gunning, you wanted to add something about this slide?
Sure. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here tonight. I'll be quick. I know everybody out there is so anxious right now and nervous. The kids are, the parents are. I know from all the email responses I got, excuse me, about homerooms. But you got this. I'm actually having a coughing attack right now. I'm sorry. Your ideal student will look different, will feel different. Nobody's perfect. The kids are not perfect. We're not perfect, but you need to trust us and you need to trust the process. Don't be worried about this. You're sending them to a very supportive and nurturing environment. And so ideal means that they're going to come to us as one student in 6th grade and they're going to leave another student in 8th grade. And we want to see growth. And if I had to wrap up what ideal means, it means growth. It means kids leaning into things. It means kids doing hard work. And it's okay for us to ask them to do hard work. That's where they'll get their grit and their resilience. If we do everything for them, they're never going to know how to do things on their own. So welcome to North Middle School. We're so excited, and North Side, Strong Side.
Thank you, Ms. Gunning. So I'm going to ask you, and I think I may have mentioned this in the spring presentation, to make sure on Wednesday morning, and I'm going to segue a little bit until Wednesday morning because right now the weather prediction is not good for Wednesday and Wednesday afternoon. So please be patient with the transportation issues that might have. I know that some of you will choose to drive your children to school. For our 6th grade parents, you drop your children off on Polo Road. The doors will open at 7:35. You can drop them off. Please always drop them off before 8:10 so they can get to their homeroom and start the day off on a good note. And after school, when the rain is really predicted to be here, but as Ms. Adams said earlier, we're going to be out there, but we can only do so much. We can't enforce traffic laws. We need the support of our parents to follow the rules. When you come down Polo Road, pull down as far as possible. And I gave a little secret today, a little hint at the meeting this afternoon. I promise if you wait until 3 o'clock and just tell your son or daughter, hey, I'll pick you up at 3, and it gives them a little more time to get their stuff at the end of the day and wait in the vestibule, you'll have no traffic to battle. It's that 2:50 to 2:55 time frame that it's like they're giving away Willy Wonka bars in front of the school and everyone's there. And it does get a little hectic. So I'm going to ask for your cooperation, and please always focus on the road while you're out there. No one should be double parking. No one should be making U-turns. We want to make sure ultimately that the safety of our kids is first and foremost. It really can become quite challenging out there, and we want to make sure that everyone is safe. So this first day of 6th grade, on Wednesday morning, I'm sure the outfits are, some of them have already been picked out. I would ask that you find a prominent place in your house, if it's nice enough to go outside, and take a picture of your child as he or she enters 6th grade. And make sure you save that somewhere. And then 2.5 years from now, you'll take that same picture, that same place, as your child graduates middle school in June of 2024, which is crazy to say, and he or she will be a completely different person. Some of them will grow 2 inches, some of them will grow 12 inches. It's amazing to watch this transformation, but I can promise you they're going to grow up here as well. They're going to grow in their heart. And it's our ability at the school to make a difference, and your ability as parents to make a difference to help our kids develop and grow as middle schoolers. And again, for those of you that this might be a challenge on Wednesday morning, it can get emotional. I didn't think I'd be emotional when I dropped my kids off at school last week, but I think I got in the car and realized there was a finality to dropping them off at school, and sending your child to middle school where he or she's going to be more independent. That can be a little nerve-wracking, and we get that, but I promise you, as Ms. Posito said earlier, we've got them. We've got them. We will take care of them. And the ultimate advice I can give you is, this is not an exaggeration, buckle up, folks. It's going to be a great ride, but there's going to be days that you're going to shake your head and say, how is this the same kid that was here in 4th grade? But enjoy that, celebrate that, have those conversations, make it so they feel comfortable speaking to you at all times. And I promise you, there's light at the end of the tunnel as you're going through middle school, because then they become these young adults who are sitting down with you and having conversations. And that's the beauty of just kind of buckling up and enjoying this ride. And again, we are excited to meet them tomorrow. As a reminder, tomorrow's orientation, just because of some protocols that we put in place at the district level, is for students only. You're going to receive another email in about 25 minutes from me that will list the homerooms and where they're to be dropped off, either in the front of the building in the circle or in the front of Polo Road. That'll make it easier, because this way we'll have about 100 kids being dropped off at each location. It will be easier for us to get them into school. We'll have guides that will be here to help them get to their homerooms. They'll report to their assigned homeroom, and we'll begin the activity. It will be approximately 45 minutes. I would ask that you please park over in Parkwood, and around 10 after 12, start to come back to the location where you dropped your child off. At quarter after, we will dismiss them. And please be orderly as we dismiss our students and they go home for their last free afternoon of the summer of 2021. That's it for the part of the presentation that we had. Ms. Yee, Ms. Adams, are there any questions that you would like to ask of us from the parents?
There were a few questions, but it has been answered. And I'd say that you were very thorough. You covered a lot of topics. I guess so far so good. We don't have any extra questions at this moment. Just relax, parents. I have a 7th grader and 9th grader. I've been through this, and they enjoy every day. And don't worry too much. Just enjoy the time with the children and look forward to a wonderful year with our North Middle School. We don't have any questions so far.
All right, well, to our amazing PTO, our team leaders, Ms. Anderson, Ms. Gunning, and on behalf of the whole North Middle School family, we thank you for joining us tonight. We look forward to seeing your children tomorrow, not only your children, and we look forward to welcome them to the first full day of middle school on Wednesday, September 1st. Have a great night, everyone. Be well and be safe.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night. Night.